What's good, Internet? It is Austin Walker. It's Danielle Riendeau. We're coming to you live from Lobby 1, which is going to be our new studio space.
Yeah.
I'm going to just...
Yeah, take a look-see.
Here's a little
There's
look-see.
Danica.
There's Danica.
She's here, too.
There's like a nice little setup. There's like a TV over there that we're still setting up. Those are some like cool wooden speakers that are not ours.
Speakers.
They're great.
Those are like...
But for now, it's just us in this corner. We're looking at... Here, ready? Watch this shit.
Yep, you can see it.
Oh,
There's
word.
a brewery out there. Whoa, it's going to be like a million mirrors.
It's going to be like a million...
This is how you look into the soul of a computer.
Let's bring this down. I'm going to bring it down a little bit.
Bring it down.
Hot mics.
We got
clipping. I got it.
We're going to stop clipping it right now. Clippy is done. That's how you transition.
All right, so...
Cool.
I think
so we're looking at a new game today.
We are going to look at a new game.
Like a brand new game.
Let's see. I lowered the mic. The mic should be lower now. It's like not peaking.
Camera is also lowered.
Yeah, it is. That's just our bodies.
Are we still clipping?
I don't know. You should listen.
I'm listening.
I did a test stream and it was fine. Or a test recording. We were not clipping at all.
What if we whisper?
Okay, you can start whispering.
This is the Asthma Horizon Zero Dawn hour.
That sounds okay. All right, let's look at this really quick.
Okay.
Does that sound okay? Okay, people are saying sound is better, which is good.
All right, cool.
So now you should start hearing this other different sound. You'll have to tell me how it sounds.
That doesn't sound like the Vice Office. Right. I almost said Voice Office.
The Voice Office.
This doesn't sound like the voice.
So I played Horizon Zero Dawn for 4 hours.
That's 4 hours more than I have.
That's 4 hours more than even I have. That's not true. That doesn't add up.
It doesn't work that way.
But I played for 4 hours. So I set this up while Aloy, who's the lead character, hangs out here. I played the first 3 chapters, chapters 1 through 3, which is the kind of intro. I'm gonna rewind that back real quick. I played the first 3 hours or first 3 chapters, and then I jumped ahead to chapter 7. You skip chapter 4 through 6, and
presumably something like amazing happens in 4 through 6.
I mean,
you couldn't know about it.
I can tell you what happens, but I'm not gonna. I could.
Okay, it's not a spoiler cast.
It kind of shows up very quickly in this even. So if you want to go in blind to this game, stop watching this right now. I do mostly open world stuff. I don't do any big story things. But there's a little bit of that stuff.
Test this override
Your
device.
mic is a little. Okay, I'm going back. So yeah, this is pre-recorded footage that's kind of chopped up. Again, I played for 4 hours, but they let us run 40 minutes of that 4 hours. So I kind of going around in skills here and showing off some menu stuff.
So Prowler, Brave, and
Forager. You're playing as Aloy, who is a brave, or I guess at this point she's a seeker, which is someone who goes out to find stuff in this post-apocalyptic world where there are robot dinosaurs.
Which is what's going to happen.
Which
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there are definitely some dinosaurs in my fight here. There's skill trees. You level up in this game. You get XP from fighting, from exploring, from doing side quests. Things are kind of split into, again, Prowler, which is stealth stuff, long distance kills, slowing down time. There's Brave, which is lots of combat stuff. Actually, Brave might be the slowing down time. And there's Forager, which is hacking and finding stuff in the environment and healing yourself and things like that.
That's cool. So very Tomb Raider-y thus far, in terms of the approaches and the skill trees.
There's a lot of Tomb Raider in this game.
Great, that's a great thing.
And
the new Tomb Raiders.
I've only watched people play the new Tomb Raider, but it definitely feels inspired by that in terms of the skill tree breakdown.
Awesome.
There is gear in this game, and gear has different handling and damage types, and there are upgrade slots on the gear. So you can see there's this modification thing here that is that's a slot where you can drop in new stuff, and there's also base stats. So I just put on something that has a little bit higher quality damage resistance, and then I can also put in something that's hey, I'm going to fill in those slots to give it extra fire damage or extra whatever. There is Waves of Babies says, this sounds a lot like Far Cry. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of Far Cry here.
It also looks a lot like.
So you see here, I'm oh, what do I want to put in this handling coil or this? So they loaded me into this pre-made save game. So I was I don't know what I have in my inventory. Let me look through it all really quick.
Yeah.
I got the slingshot that's grenades. I got the rope caster, which is the thing that ties someone down, I think.
Automatic lasso?
Yeah, and then there's the trip caster, which is you put up 2 points, and it's
trips you. Yeah.
Exactly.
It'll trip you right up, robot dinosaur, for being so rude. That's what I think.
Patrick says, ow, my ear. Are we still clipping? Are we still clipping?
Spike again.
Very random. I don't think it's I think it's
Okay, that's good.
It might just be a mic thing.
We're not
We'll
being
turn that
loud.
gain down.
Yeah, totally.
I'm trying not.
Game is kind of loud, yeah. Fuck with that.
Trying not to be loud.
Fuck with that.
It's hard.
So that's
Are we
just
listening to the
fine.
PR guy's
That was
second
a random
mixtape?
flip.
Okay. Well, okay, so I think the audio is apparently clips when I get excited, so I'll get less excited. How's
Okay,
that
you
sound?
have to be very calm.
I
This
have
is
to
our
move the mic.
NPR kind of moment right here.
We can do that bit, but like
You know,
this game isn't super NPR. I guess this game is actually a little NPR. As
this
you
is
can see,
NPR in the
I'm
post-apocalypse.
Listen, I gotta tell you something really sad, Danielle.
Yeah.
The first thing that's gonna go is NPR's funding. It's not gonna make it all the way to the post-apocalypse.
Really sad and really
Yeah,
true,
it's
actually.
it's not
But
gonna
what
do
if
it.
what if they bring it back? Like this is neo-prehistoric
radio.
public radio.
Neo-prehistoric
You know what I'm saying?
radio.
Yeah.
Neo-prehistoric radio,
Neo-prehistoric.
NPR.
That's even better.
That
That's
works.
even better. All right, I'm glad we
gonna
did that.
Stop looking through my inventory here and actually move forward a little bit. I am gonna show off the map here, I think. Oh, I'm also
We
gonna
gotta
show
see
off
your
that-
sample box.
So
first.
this is actually something weird, which is throughout the game, merchants and enemies will drop like boxes that you open up that are filled with resources.
Okay.
So you'll kill a bandit and he'll drop something that's like filled with resources that you can collect. Here is the world map. It is
a big
pretty,
world.
It's pretty sizable.
Yeah.
If that's a thing you care about. And the thing that I can say for sure from the time I did spend with it, it is that there is a fair amount of variety in terms of like the biomes, the environments.
Nice.
I saw like kind of autumnal spaces like this. I saw some like areas that felt more
It's your sister,
Arctic or like tundra. They wouldn't let
Hardy
me
little
go
plant.
super far west, but
You'll
what I
help.
saw did sort of change a little bit.
That's really cool.
Got kind of mountainous, which is really cool.
So it seems like you are alerted here. You spotted something. Something
Oh,
was there. Something.
someone was yelling to come save their brother or whatever, but I was like, oh, I have a 2-hour demo at this point.
Yeah.
After the 2-hour
It's like,
intro.
sorry, buddy.
Right.
I-
So here's a quick thing, which is, do you see how I'm like slowing down and
Yeah, you're
I'm
slowing down
gonna-
time a little bit
I'm gonna
there.
go back. I'm actually like going into like a detective vision. I'm gonna
Oh,
back
even
up
better.
into it.
Your Witcher vision.
It's
yeah. Mm-hmm.
my Witcher vision, and the reason so Aloy can do that because she has a piece of technology that I'm not going to get into too much here, but it lets you kind of see things that nobody else can see. So in this case, you can see I'm seeing this like I'm reading those signs, right? That say Mother's
Yeah.
Watch and Mother's Heart, which are two different kind of
Quests?
settlements.
Oh, settlements. Gotcha.
And one thing that makes me want to say is like this is the first time I've played a game where the PS4 Pro was a substantial improvement over the regular PS4. All of that stuff with HDR looked so good and bright and otherworldly. Like everything else is really not pastel, but has like this very natural color grading to it. And the kind of electronic techie stuff really shows up in a big way. in
Very, very
HDR.
sharp. Yeah.
And it also is just gorgeous in like full 4K. Like
Yeah.
I'm not that dude, and I still had to walk away going like, I'm glad I'm going to get to play this with the PS4 Pro, which is not the thing I've ever imagined myself doing.
Yeah, for
Or
sure.
saying.
I saw a little bit myself, and yeah, I'm also like such a skeptic about that sort of thing. But in a beautifully art-directed game already, I mean, this would look good in many contexts.
Right, totally.
But that
So
is
we're streaming 720p,
quite
I'm pretty
nice.
sure, and this is
Yeah.
720p upscaled footage, I think. But there's a boar. I just wanted to show you this because the thing I didn't realize is that there were just regular animals too, on top of everything else.
on top of the robot animals.
Right, it's like you get meat from
Bony meat,
animals,
fatty meat, and rich meat.
and you can use those to craft items, including healing potions and
that's
I think
right.
herbs or some other stuff.
I can test the override device on them. Should go.
Oh, right, that's true. The regular PS4
Then
can
go
do
through all of
HDR
this
now
to
too.
wind
Rather
up
than they did
trampled by
that
a
patch.
frightened herd.
It also does just look sharper on the PS4 Pro. Like there was a significant. So I played the first 2 hours of the game in PS4 Pro mode, and then switched to capture footage in the regular mode, and it was the first time I've been able to tell a substantial difference.
So this is a robot
it goes.
horse.
That I'm going to override.
Come on, whoa.
I don't know how she got that ability. That was in parts of the game that I missed that you
It
skipped
worked.
over. But now this
It's
horse is my
hostile.
bud.
So do you think
Seems
this is a
almost
world
tame.
where Westworld happened,
Think I could
Oh,
ride
yeah.
then the apocalypse happened?
Yeah. Well, so a thing that I actually really like
There
is
we
a little
go.
bit here is
That a boy. That's
one
more
of the
like
things
it.
I was a little not afraid of, but I was curious if it would feel like there was some time and that went wrong and then it went up now, right? Which is kind of how like Fallout can feel of like,
Yeah,
oh, it's
like a one thing happened.
one thing happened
Yeah.
and there are
This
layers.
strider
It
is
feels
fast.
like from my experience in the,
This beats
the 4 hours
walking.
of play, there are layers of time. So like there is the before time. Then I found records that seem to be like referencing the
I
bad
should
thing
try
that
overriding
happened.
other kinds
but
of
also
machines.
that
Probably
settlement
can't ride them
had
all, but I
risen
might
and
find a
fallen
use
by the
for
time
them.
I got to it. So it feels like there were different years of history.
Which is how history works.
Totally.
Which is cool,
Totally.
and I like that quite a bit.
I'm gonna make sure I'm looking at chat. And
I can look at it too, you know.
Sounds of fighting. Just
Watch yourself! Bring it closer! Closer!
I want to talk a little bit about the voice acting and dialogue, but I'll wait until they've chatted a little bit.
Okay, let's have.
She is talking to herself a lot. She talks to herself constantly.
Varl, I take it?
Am I seeing things? Or were you riding that strider when you came through the gate?
I was. It's hard to explain.
I imagine so. Strange times we live in. We who've survived. I recognize you, of course. Aloy, the outcast who won the proving.
Lots of capital or
Glad to see you
proper
survived
nouns.
your
They're
wounds.
Yep.
High Matriarch Tirsa said you might know the way to Meridian.
The capital of the Carja Sundom? You seek exile?
No. A traitor named Olin. The Matriarchs made me a seeker so I could go after him.
Well, then you should head
So a
north. to
thing I'll
Mother's
say,
Crown.
I'll talk over them a
If
little
you
bit
make
here,
it, talk to Maria. She'll point the way.
is
If I make it?
that I think
The
that the
trail
game
is
is really
dangerous.
self-serious.
Ever since
Yeah.
the War Party massacre.
You know, I
our
played for
lands
4
go
hours.
unpatrolled,
Throughout the
and our
intro,
borders
obviously, I
unguarded.
get that it was really interested in setting up
We have no
its
war chief to lead
world
us.
and its fiction.
Isn't that Resh's
And I think
job?
that stuff mostly works.
Only because
But I
Sona
think
went missing.
everything else I saw
I'd go
in the
after
next
her
2 hours
myself,
of open world
but she ordered me
gameplay
to
was
hold this gate
really
with my life.
like stilted
And so
isn't the
I
right
have.
word because I think some of the voice
Stoic,
acting is
maybe?
stoic is
Yeah.
a really
You
good
said the
word.
trail is
Like,
dangerous.
it really believes
What
in this
sorts of
world it's
dangers?
telling and or that it just wants to show you.
Almost too many to name.
But it often
killers
doesn't
are still
land.
out there,
Stick the
and
landing on
somehow
that
they've
stuff
corrupted
because
the
everyone is
machines,
so
spreading madness.
humorless
Yes.
and like there isn't a
I've
lot
seen it
of
myself.
there isn't a lot of
Bandits, too.
character to
Cutthroats
the
who
people
snuck
in this
across the
world
border
that
to
I
prey
saw.
on us.
Again, full
Sure.
game,
Where
who
it
knows?
is, there's a
But for
camp
me, I needed a
in the
little bit of
ruins
levity. When I
upriver.
think about the open world
Sounds
games
like
that
I
I
need to
liked
craft
the
more
most,
arrows.
like this is coming hot off the heels of Watch Dogs 2, which
You
is
said
filled
I
with
won the
people who are
proving.
fun to be
How did
around.
you
know
It's
that?
fun to be in that world.
I
Even when things are
spoke to
serious,
survivors.
there is still an
They said
edge.
you fought bravely, as did Bast.
And like that is
And my sister.
kind of a
Your
bummer.
sister was Vala?
Someone just said that was a Mass Effect dialogue wheel. There is
Yeah.
that sort of Mass Effect dialogue
very
wheel system,
sorry.
and there is also
I liked her.
Comrade Solar. There is
I
also
think we
a
might have
system of
even
like
become friends
choosing whether or not to be like
if we'd had a
thoughtful,
chance.
Thank you.
clever, like
died
aggressive
saving
or
others.
compassionate that comes up every
There's
now and
no
then.
better
None of
death.
that came up for me in the open world, but it did in the like set story sequence.
said the
Yes.
war party
Okay,
was
that's kind of
massacred.
cool. I like that there's at least a third option as
When
opposed
word
to
came
just
of the attack on the
renegade.
Yeah, it's not just
and,
Renegade
you know,
Paragon, but I'm not
around.
quite sure where it'll
Chase.
go in the long
But in their
run.
haste to get vengeance, some braves
Somebody
broke
said,
rank and
plot twist,
raced ahead.
everybody's a robot.
Everybody's a
Into a
robot.
trap.
You know, I
Pack
could see
of
some of that
crazed
going
machines,
somewhere.
seething with corruption, fell
the-
upon the braves and
And the other thing is, like, I
Savage
actually think
them.
there's a pretty
War
broad
Chief Sona led a countercharge and
spread in
destroyed the
quality
machines, but
of voice acting.
Yeah.
Some of
The
it's just
killers
like
were
not good. Some of it feels like
losses
very
were
unprofessional, and sometimes you'll hit that next to someone who feels super good.
Like, yeah.
You
And
said
that
War
is a
Chief Sona
rough
is missing?
mix.
This
even
Varl
when
seems
the war party
alright.
was massacred,
You know.
she wouldn't give
Apparently,
up
it's
the
peaking.
chase.
The audio
She
is still
called for
peaking
volunteers
randomly.
and
Is
went
it
after
us
the
that
killers.
are peaking, or is
You
it the
didn't
game?
volunteer?
Or is it our
Of course I
room?
did.
It could be our bad room.
But
That
so
has
no.
There's
been
times people
denied me
walk
that.
around on top
She
of our
ordered me to see the
heads.
wounded
Totally.
back to the embrace. And to
Yeah,
guard this gate
Fox here notes that
To
it feels
guard
like the
the
facial
embrace
animation is not.
with my life.
It
not
seems like
just
it's
the
not
lip sync.
done
That was
yet.
days ago.
Again,
Yeah, there's
since
definitely
then,
some
there's
lip
been
sync
no word
issues
from
there
her.
at the top.
So
but
there's
he,
no way
he
to
is
know
now
if she's
closing his
alive or
mouth.
dead.
Right.
So
If anyone could survive out there, it
Okay,
would be
it's
her.
random.
random.
That's good. That's
Sona's
good to know.
prowess
it's not
is
us.
legend.
It's
An
you.
unbending spear to measure ourselves against.
Sounds like she sets a high standard.
Yeah, so this is actually coming
have
out at
no
the end of the
idea.
month. This is
Yeah,
like
is there a
She's my
date?
mother.
What's the date?
the
on this?
28th, I think.
28th, okay,
I
so
believe, and
literally
this is
the
a
end of
I should
the
be on my
PS4
way.
only.
Aloy,
I believe.
before you make the journey to Mother's Crown and
Mother's
beyond,
Crown and Beyond.
is there
all the
any
name
chance you
places
could search
in-
for
so there are a
Sona?
bunch of different tribes in this
The
world.
tribe needs
the
her
one
leadership.
that I'm dealing with here.
I'd go after her myself if she
is not
hadn't
the Karja.
commanded
The
me to
Karja
hold this
are
gate at all
different ones.
costs.
Where was she
it's-
last seen?
God, what are they?
The War Party massacre site. A
the
wooded
Nara.
hollow
No,
across from
the- I
Devil's
think the
Thirst
Nara,
on this side of the
Naga?
river.
The
No.
gnarly.
You might be able to pick
Gnarlies.
up her
Yeah,
trail
I think it
there.
might be
Just
Nara.
gnarly.
She went after the killers
like
who attacked
Mother's
the Proving,
Heart, Mother's
who
Crown,
killed those we
Mother's-
love, who
Seems
tried
like
to kill you.
matriarchy is certainly
Yeah,
a
it's
theme
this-
here.
this-
Like
this
ladies have a
society-
lot of
I'll see what I
power
can
in
do.
this society.
This society specifically is very much like that.
That's pretty cool.
A lot of the intro is very much like the high matriarchs are allowing you to have a name or not allowing you to, and there's lots of like, yeah.
Well, you've cleared quite a bit of the map at this point here,
I
or at
get-
least this little section.
The save file has certainly.
Yeah, you did.
Um,
Just trying to give you credit.
I didn't
Trying
do
to give you a
shit.
lot of credit.
I fought some stuff, and that's about it. And then like
May the
up here
goddess
is just like the save and fast travel system. These little campfires, you go to them. You see me like struggling to keep this robot horse.
That horsey wants to go somewhere else.
I'm gonna lower the gameplay audio more. People in the chat are like debating whether or not it's too low or too high. And
It's
it's,
a little too high.
alright, now it's lower.
Mainly during dialogue.
Okay. I'll boost it during dialogue.
This man just stood up.
Wait, let me go back really quick, and we just
best.
transitioned from one game to or one section to another section, right?
Yes, we did.
It just got bigger.
Alright. So these campfires are save points, and are also fast travel points.
Okay.
But there's a consumable that you need to spend to fast travel, which I'll
Oh.
show you in a little bit.
I spoke to Kren.
So this
Poor
is
Kren.
going to be the first little bit of
Not
combat.
the best. You bet
I don't think
you
it'll be a
have
Trico
the
situation with the
matriarch's
pony, but it's
leave
definitely a
to come
roach
those who
situation
light
with the
from
pony
sacred
fox
light.
here.
Yes, but I would have gone even without.
Is that so?
So I'm talking to this guy here
Maybe
who
you and I
is
can speak
a hunter, and he
You're
has
right,
a
Karja.
Karja is the other place.
I've
The
had
Karja
dealings
is like
with Karja.
the tribe that fucked us
I
up.
represent an organization called the
Because they had
Hunters
too much
Lodge
snow in their
Riendeau.
hair.
We test
Clearly.
promising young
Yeah,
hunters.
this guy
with
has a
trials.
I
lot
think
of
this
snow
guy
in
is
his
Nara
beard.
also.
Just
And
yeah,
hair.
yeah, that's true. He should
Just
just
to be
like
clear,
just
though.
wipe it out a little bit.
He just,
appreciate it.
maybe he likes it, but I don't know, man.
They're way cheaper
your
than the
pick.
Dragon's Dogma Stones
Which
AT Droop, or at least the ones I saw, and that seemed weird. So here there are these trial
your
zones
skill
where
with
you're
bow and
basically
arrow,
picking
like shooting cards
from a
off the
set
backs
of
of great.
potential challenges to do,
That's
and
a
if you
good
do
one.
them, you get resources.
Cool.
So I'm going to do one here, which is hunting. I'm hunting. What am I hunting? It's not even just that you're hunting
Do
a thing.
something from the grazers.
It's that you're right. You're trying to. There are challenges like one of the ones I didn't do here was like drop logs on them within a set time limit. So this one is like I'm trying to remove the canisters from them. So this will be the first like combat that you get to see. So you see those canisters on their backs. That was a watcher that I went into, which is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go into the grazers.
Oh. So you're thinking about
so-
your weapons. You're thinking
No,
about.
actually, what I'm going to do is go into this machine catalog, where each of the there's like it breaks down what the components are and what they do. So, for instance, they attack with those rotor blades, which means if you knock the rotor blades off, they'll break off and they won't be able to do that attack anymore. Then it also shows you what type of loot they have. So there's kind of components, and then there's like higher rank, rarer things like their hearts or their eyes or their machine core.
It's great that they actually tell you
Yes,
the stuff
yes,
that you will get
100%.
and what you
and
need.
they'll tell you that the first time you fight one,
Good.
like immediately.
Good.
It also, if you saw on the top left there, it said you need a certain thing to override them. And so at the beginning of the game, I couldn't override this like wolf-like thing because I don't have the Sigma override, which is something else that you get down the line.
Lots of interesting. I do find the whole aesthetic really interesting, like nature and sort
And
of like
robots.
not primitive, but like this type of society with these
Yeah.
kinds of weapons, with ranged weapons that are not like
Right.
these are bows and arrows, and also robot dinosaurs.
Also robot dinosaurs,
That's
which
kinda cool.
there's mostly robot non-dinosaurs here that I showed.
Mostly robot animals of
Yeah.
robot Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Correct.
Yes, robot Rudolphs. Oh right.
So this is gonna be me like just being bad at this game for a little while. I feel like I started off really well. I got 5 of the 10 immediately, and I got a headshot on that
that was
guy.
pretty good.
So these things are watchers, which are they're the ones that set off the alarm.
They're like little raptors.
They are a lot like little raptors. They just kind of fling themselves at you. And they're one attack, which is really fun.
It's kind of great.
So there's kind of a limited melee system here on top of there being the ranged stuff.
Does it feel good?
Yeah, I think the
Alright.
what?
I have a little audio problem.
Yeah, there's it's
It's
not
the
very
new
even.
room, you know,
It
we're
is
new.
the new room doesn't help. I don't know if there's any robot dinosaur sex. I would believe it.
How do they make little robot dinosaurs?
I think I'm not allowed to answer that. I saw some shit I wasn't supposed to, and a guy came and was like, "Oh, you can't cap. Don't. You have to stop right now."
No.
And I was like, "All right, I'll stop."
The conspiracy porn
That's
of
true.
robot dinosaurs.
Yep.
Watch out for that.
So the second one of these trials that I did was I had to kill them with the tripwires, and that was really cool because it taught me how to like try to herd them into my traps.
Oh yeah.
But I was really bad at that, so I'm not showing that footage.
That's okay. If it were me playing this,
Uh-huh.
it would probably be me falling Off of cliffs pretty often?
Yeah. Oh, no, I was allowed to see the sex. Not the sex. I was allowed to see where the robots came from. I just wasn't allowed to show that footage.
Okay.
You see, I just missed my first target
That's
of
all
like
right.
a minute and a half.
It's because you were really distraught about what you had seen.
Well, I hadn't seen it yet,
You-
but I was
well,
curious. My
okay.
mind was like,
You were thinking about
where
it.
where do the little
come
robots come from? Watch me miss this like super easy shot 4 times in a row.
Oh.
Missed it.
Oh,
Missed
right
it.
there.
And then finally, I think I
Right in the
missed
butt.
it.
Once it presented the butt. to
Well, I
you.
needed. Yep. Once it
You
showed me the
know.
butt, I knew where to shoot.
You played Dark Souls.
I got a trophy.
You got a trophy
Not
from
for me
that.
though.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. So this is where you're actually sort of harvesting stuff,
Yeah,
or
so
you're just grabbing.
At this
stuff?
point, I spent some time to harvest some stuff, and
Oh.
like that ends up definitely being. There's definitely that part of the. I paused the game. It didn't
That's
just break.
cool. It's cool.
There isn't just. It isn't an actual. It's not like there's no carving out system or anything like that. It's
You're
like
not
very
doing the Far
quick.
Cry. Ugh,
Right. It's
as
very
you-
easy to like go up, hit triangle, triangle. Triangle is how you interact with things and do
Gotcha.
things. Circle is a dodge. X is a jump, and square is something else. I forget what the square button does.
Square is robot dinosaur
Yeah.
sex. That's
Probably,
what it is.
Probably. So this was the first place that I found that was like a ruins, and I was like, oh shit, I'm really excited for this. And so the first thing I saw was like lots of things that were already dead, and I was like, oh, okay, things must be rough here.
They've got the devil's thirst. That's what happened.
Apparently.
Yeah.